Hello.
Hi.
All right, we're live, everybody. Jen?
Hey. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Ben, am I taking this away from you? I'm sorry.
No, you go.
No,
You're
yeah,
right.
you're leading.
Okay, so this was my pick, and the pick for tonight is Summer of '84. Now, I know it was a first time watch for Patrick. Ben, you've seen it. Mary, was this a first time watch for
First
you?
time.
First
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I'll let the first timers. What did you guys think of it? Because this was y'all's first time. What did you guys think of it?
It was really good.
Enjoyed it?
I like the feel of it, like the 80s feel. I always like those kind of movies anyway, with the kids and like a Stranger Things type. They're like Hardy Boys, like he was reading, feel to it. I liked it.
It did get a lot of Stranger Things. A lot of people compared it to, but I think as we were talking in backstage, I think there are other movies that you could compare it to. I haven't seen Stranger Things yet. I think I'm the one person that hasn't
It's
seen
just
Stranger
the
Things
music, I think.
yet.
Yeah.
The
I haven't
synth-heavy
either.
music.
Yeah.
Patrick, what did you think of it?
I liked it too. I thought it reminded me of a film that we reviewed on here. We talked about here, Clove Hitch Killer, and I really liked the music. The music really took me back to, if you just took the music out of the movie, you could have put that on in Phantasm and not missed a beat. It was a very Phantasm type score, and I really like that.
Very cool. Very cool. Ben, what about you? I know this is your second time around. Did you like it as much as you did, or did you find a few problems? The interesting thing about watching a movie a second time around is sometimes you end up loving it more. Sometimes you're like, oh, this wasn't as good as I remember.
I kind of felt like when I thought I might not like it as much as I did the first, viewing. But actually it held up for me. I think that it just has like a real strong nostalgia vibe, and like all the actors gave really good performances. So you end up like sort of, involved in the characters. And yeah, I mean, I thought maybe like now I know everything's going to happen and everything, maybe it'll lose some of its charm, but it didn't really hold up.
Very cool. I'm kind of the same way with you. I actually ended up just enjoying it just as much. I'd seen it a couple of times, but it had been a while. And so it was kind of refreshing. And for those of you wondering what Summer of '84 actually is, it is about four friends set in the summer of '84. And you guys got to remember, this came out in 2018. And one of the things, the complaints I heard about it is, oh God, another '80s overload. We were getting a lot of '80s nostalgia movies, kind of because of Stranger Things and other things. And I thought this one did it really, really well.
Yeah.
Did you guys think it hit it on the mark, or did you guys think they went a little too overboard? I thought they hit everything over the mark. I am an '80s baby, so I was there. I was a little kid, but I remember.
I thought it captured the '80s really well. It wasn't overpowering like the same old pop songs you hear. That's one of the bad things about when you do movies from the '80s or from the past. They tend to play the songs you've already heard 10,000 times in other movies, and they didn't this time. I like how they kept the soundtrack out of it and kept the score within. I think it helped really move the movie.
That's a really good point. I agree with you on that too. The synth heavy vibe was really good. We did get a Cruel Summer in it, and I don't know if we got anything else, but I do remember they did play Cruel Summer, but I thought it worked really good, and we needed a bone. Mary, what did you think about the soundtrack?
Oh, I loved it. That was so great. I did get the Stranger Things vibe from it, but there is other shows and stuff that have the similar music, but I like the teenagers and the kids in it. They did such a good job in this movie.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about this movie that we'll get into. I really like these kids. They were believable, but they were cute. And I also appreciated all the humor that was used in this. That was one thing, even though how heavy and dark this movie gets, especially in its third act, I really enjoyed the humor in this. But before we get on to that, I want to ask our music expert, what did you think? I really am curious to hear what your thoughts were on the music, Ben.
I love a good synthy score, you know. I thought the nostalgia factor was pretty good. It felt there was a few gratuitous moments where they're like, you know, they do like a hold on like a Bush Reagan like sign on someone's lawn,
Yes.
or they like, talk about, like, oh, the Cold War will never end, you know, like that felt a little gratuitous, but I found it was interesting. It's a Canadian movie, is my understanding of it, but it was very much set in like America.
And it kind of also reminds you, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
did it remind you a little bit of the McCarthyism too, with the Reagan Bush? But it also is kind of, because there's real respect for authority, because man, his parents are dicks. Our main character's parents, man, they were dicks because for not believing him. Like, I get it, but then going with authority, he's a cop.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't really like, you can't blame the parents for not believing that their cop neighbor isn't a serial killer based on some bullshit, but like, you know, I mean, yeah, what for us viewing, like, yeah, why don't you believe him? And then you get like a nice, like, when they're all sitting there at the police station, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, son. Like, you know, you're like, yeah, okay. But
If it was me, my parents would have never heard the end of it. I told you he would. I told you. They would have never heard
Right.
the end of it. For me,
could
I
you?
would have believed my kids.
Yeah.
Especially you know when they're, I mean when they're watching that, you know, toward the end. I mean, I will say this, you know, when they came to him the second time, every single cop was like stand at attention, and they 1,000% believed them. You know, there wasn't anybody questioning it. It was like absolutely like holy shit. And,
well, I mean,
and
they
then
had
you hear
video evidence at that point. There's video evidence, right? Before it was
Yeah.
just like a
Yeah.
T-shirt, a milk carton, and like, hey guys, you know, like,
you know, but you know, it's really weird. It's back then. You're right. They would have believed them. They would have believed them for sure. But today, not so much. You know, with what you know, if you made this movie set in today, might be a really a twister, because there's so many, you know, the tech being brought up and whatnot. I mean, it wouldn't have been, you know, you couldn't always believe what you could see. You know, just like they couldn't believe what they could, you know, their neighbor, a cop, could be a dirty cop. They just had a hard time comprehending that.
yeah, I think I'm not a huge fan of AI. You know, I don't like the sort of current. Yeah, I don't like the way that there's like no truth anymore. It's unfortunate, but
And screwing over artists too.
oh yeah, it's pretty fucked. I think there's a lot of backlash now. I work for a company who's like has a big push towards AI stuff. I don't even like. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of AI. I don't think it's going to have like a good effect on the world per se. But what else?
World is what the world is.
Yeah.
But would you guys, would you guys believe if your kids came to you the first time, would you guys have believed your kids, or at least thought there's something? Because one of the things I love about this, and we'll get into what it's actually about. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I apologize. But one of the things I love about this movie is the cop's a little almost too perfect, and that would just make my radar go up. You know, little too nice, little too healthy. Would you believe your kids, or because that bothered me? I'm like, why
Well,
don't these people at least
The
get their
weirdest
kids
part's
involved?
when he's outside in the yard with the cooler. Come on, get some freeze pops. Come
Yeah.
on, get them. The radars went up on that. It's like, ooh.
I feel though like it really depends on the individual, like your individual child. Like this individual child has like an overactive imagination. He's
Yeah.
got all these like tabloid, like that boy is back
Yeah.
his wall. So, you know, maybe
He cried wolf too many times, you're saying.
yeah, or maybe they just
Yeah.
realize that he's like, you know, prone to be
Overactive.
fanciful, like jumping to conclusions about stuff. So maybe it's just it's just like that particular situation. But I also don't have kids, so I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. It's a good point. What about you, Patrick? Would you believe it if if a kid of yours came to you, even if they did have an overactive imagination?
I would definitely listen to him. Definitely. I mean, especially the tone of voice. I mean, because think about what think about it. The kid's going to come there, and it's like, one, he's going to be naturally scared of the cop anyway, so he's not going to like if I tell a lie, the cop is going to get me. So for him to keep going through the story, I got to believe that. And two, if he was not known for lying or playing, being Peter, then yeah, I would definitely listen to him, and I also would have told him to stay the hell away.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I get the McCarthyism, is because when the father drags him and makes him apologize and stuff, and I'm so sorry, and he's a cop, for God's sake. And I'm like, dude. But then that was some of the parents, but I would be like, no, there's something about this dude. But then I'm not very trusting, so maybe that's it. But I will shout out the actor. His name was Rich Simmons, and he did such a good job portraying Wayne Mackey, the cop. He really did. There's a creepiness about him because he's so fucking normal. I think that's what makes him so creepy. It does. It just, there's something about him that's sus, that just don't fit. This guy don't feel right. But I also like that the movie kind of does have you questioning. That's what really works, is the push and pull. Are these kids right or wrong? And it's really not the kids. It's really the one kid that really thinks there's something not right. And also, I love how fucking brutal this movie gets. I mean, this movie goes dark, and I loved that.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah, I got. I mean, it was just so. I mentioned the movie behind, before we went on, but man, I just got how dark it got. I just got Clove Hitch Killer all the way through. I just got that same vibe, and I thought I was a step behind Clove Hitch only because instead of a cop, it was his father, which to me is like way beyond Driven. Yeah, that's way beyond Driven, right?
Boy Scout leader.
Yes, and scout leader, and being so normal like Mackie was. It's like you look at that and go like, that's the scariest part, is that they could be anybody.
There is a great line in this movie that even serial killers live next door. And I think that's one of the things that this movie is really trying to show. Like you said, Patrick, it can be anybody. And it isn't always the guys that are weirdos or it's never. And then when you watch the news, it's never the guys. That guy scared the shit out of me. Whenever anyone gets interviewed for like a murder next door, a serial killer, oh, he was the nicest guy. He helped me with my thing. It's never the guys that say, oh, that guy. I've never once seen that. One of these days, maybe. But getting back to the actual movie, what Summer of '84, like Ben was saying, it does have some Hitchcock vibes to it. I picked that up too, particularly Rear Window is the one I got. I also got, did anyone else get any Fright Night vibes from it? Because I did. I got very much Fright Night and the Goonies, and I also got a Monster Squad as well, and bringing up the 80s nostalgia. I think those are really good. This movie was just so fucking fantastic. And the friendship vibes is where it really works with these core friendships groups. And did you guys have any particular favorite characters?
Woody.
Yeah, mine too. Which makes it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all know, for anyone watching this who doesn't know, but yeah.
Woody was a big character. Yeah, he was he definitely was the sweetest kid, and his mom needed him, and it just added poignancy to the film later on.
Was she in an abusive marriage as well as Ede's parents were in one, and seems like they're all in one.
I got the feeling like she wasn't really in a relationship. Like she was an alcoholic.
Oh, okay.
Completely miserable.
I was trying to figure it out. I knew one of you guys would know. Like, I didn't catch it. That's just one part.
It's easy to miss, but what I think the movie is trying to say as a whole is like you never know what's, because the movie stresses, it says, well, that's what curtains are for. We don't know what's going on in other people's lives, and like you said, there's alcoholism. There's another parents that are it's a horrible marriage, and then you also have the babysitter whose parents are getting a divorce. Like we think what we present to the world and to the outside is not necessarily what's actually going on in our home. And I thought the movie wasn't heavy-handed. I wanted to ask you guys, did you guys think it was heavy-handed? Because I thought it did it very smartly about talking about the mask we wear.
No, I didn't heavy-handed at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, also like back in the 80s, you didn't have social media, for instance, where like little glimpses into like people's lives and like, you just don't have that kind of insight. So like, yeah, like really the revelations of things that are going on behind the scenes, can be like even more shocking, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Because
like the kids found out that her parents were getting divorced. They're all like, "Aw." Word spread quick, but they were riding bikes together, go to the bowling alley. Yeah, that was the good times. Now you don't see kids doing that shit.
Kids
like,
don't go
take my electric e-bike.
Well, now, but when I was a kid, it was a punishment if you couldn't go outside. Now it's a punishment if you put them outside, like they'll throw a fit. Like, oh my God, why are you doing it? And I think some people who are younger might have seen this movie and that, no, it really was like that. You came home when the street lights came on. Different times. And did it make you guys nostalgic? It kind of did for me. And I was just a little bitty kid at the time.
We would play that game too.
I remember.
What was it, like flashlight tag? Really? They call it Manhunter, but same thing. So much fun.
Yeah, I thought they did like a real good job of like 80s suburban neighborhood vibe, and I was older than you, Jen, back in the 80s. I was maybe a little bit younger than these kids were, but yeah, I remembered it all pretty well.
Yeah. I do too. And like I said, I was a little younger than you, but not too much, just a few years maybe.
We were old in the 80s.
It does make you feel old. It does make you feel old. But I liked that commentary. And then there's another thing I've got to bring up with you, because this movie is actually, believe it or not, very divisive. I know a lot of people really enjoyed it. I think everybody on this panel enjoyed it. But one of the things that people really, really had a problem with was the age difference. And they were saying that the babysitter shouldn't be into, he was 15. And, she was 18. But I cannot tell you how many comments I've read of, oh my God, what's wrong with this girl? Someone should put her on a list. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought the romance was really sweet.
Yeah.
And also
giving points to her boy, so his boys would love him. Like, you got street cred now.
I felt like it wasn't actually like a romance even, it was like from my perspective, I felt like he maybe felt like it was a romance or whatever, or maybe there was some like something there, but I felt like she was always like a big sister friend, sort of how it came off to me.
Yeah.
I was 15 and I dated an 18-year-old. Didn't hurt me any.
I think it's pretty weird now. Like when I was in high school, like, it wasn't weird it was maybe unusual for like a senior to date a freshman or something, but it wasn't viewed as like, oh, that guy's a fucking, creepo weirdo or anything. And nowadays I think it is that way. Like people are like real sensitive about age gap stuff and that small, like in high school.
See, when I was growing up, it would be weird if the sexism was what was in mind. If an older guy dated a younger girl, totally fine. If an older girl wanted to date a younger guy, that's where you got sideways. I always dated older guys, so it was no problem. But I had a friend who was younger than me, and I had a friend who was dated a younger guy, and she got a lot of hell for it. And nobody said anything about the other way around.
The number of women or girls, I guess, at that age that I knew that were dating like guys out of high school, it was like Jesus fuck, like What are us high school kids supposed to do? You know, but
You
like
gotta go.
nowadays,
Gotta
like
go younger.
nowadays, that's like a big red flag, obviously, and like criminal. But like back then, I don't know, it just wasn't sort of viewed the same way, I guess.
My husband and I are 14 years apart.
Yeah, Marty and I are too, and I'm the older one.
My girlfriend is 15 years younger than me. But
And
you
there's
know, like once you're
My wife was 5 years. My wife was 5 years older than me.
oh,
Aha.
once you're
That's-
over 30, it doesn't really matter, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like,
I would
it
agree
does
with
it. No.
It's
But then you
interesting.
go back and you go, oh, I was 1978, I was this, and it's like, I was 8, I was 6. They're like, I graduated high school.
That's pretty much what happened. I mean, for me, I pretty much dated older my entire life. I never really dated anybody my age, or definitely never dated anybody younger than me. Never once. It was like either my age or older, but I never dated anybody younger than me.
Except for Marty, every guy I've been with has been older.
And
Marty loves to make-
Hops is here.
Oh,
Look at
hi,
Hops says, my wife is 3 years younger, and my girlfriend is 2 days younger than me.
High
Crazy.
five, Hobbs. Marty always likes to get the joke of that I lured him in with candy and action figures, and he's not too wrong. But I've seen so many people, but it didn't bother me either. I didn't bother, but a lot of people said that really ruined it for him with this movie, was that she should have been, that she was too old for this guy. But like you said, it wasn't really a romance, or it might have been in his head, but not in reality. And
Yeah.
maybe some people miss that. But I didn't have a problem. I actually thought it was rather sweet, especially as we go on in the movie. Another big problem that I've heard, if it wasn't the girl, the ending of this movie, I've heard so many people say this has come out of left field. Did you guys feel it, especially Mary and Patrick, because this is the first time?
I agree with the ending part. I would have cut it off just to him coming down out of the attic and then place a note.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know when it's happening, but it's going to be happening. And
That
then,
was
like,
brilliant.
They're all nail biting, but they had to have their dark part, so you know.
I get you. What about you, Patrick?
Yeah, I thought the dark part. I mean, yeah, you really like the character. You like the character, so you liked all the characters, so you really was hoping for a happy ending per se. But I think by showing that, I think it really showed showed how dark it was. It really was. It was like, again, I'll go back to it because it's like Clove Hitch. It's like he took his dad all the way out to Timbuktu and killed him. And then really got me. And I think about this a lot because this movie sort of grown on me as far as that goes. But the fact that he went out there and killed his dad, who was a killer, and then came back and gave his eulogy, that just blows me away. That just it just got my brain and just sat there and it's like, think about that.
I forgot we watched that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is a good one.
But I thought the ending was impactful. I think I don't want it sounds really, I think it needed it for that. I think it needed it.
What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I agree. I like the ending. I feel like if this movie didn't go sort of like dark and it just sort of resolved with him getting like busted or something, like it just wouldn't have had the same impact. And yeah, I feel like it added a lot to it, to be honest with you.
I guess they never would have really found his whole pit if they didn't do that, where the rest of them were at.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that part.
I found it to be very impactful too. I think it like I was enjoying the movie up until that part, but when we get to the brutality of it, and I like that. I like it when movies have balls. I know some people prefer happy endings, but I always prefer a darker ending just because usually life doesn't give you happy endings. And I think it's dangerous to always give people happy endings. Like sometimes you need to retreat in happy endings. I get that. But I think sometimes it can be just as dangerous for people just to get happy endings because that ain't how life really works. And you got to be prepared for that. And I really liked it. And I hated it. I hate the ending. I hated the ending, what happened to the character. I really did. But on the other hand, I thought it was really brilliant. And I also liked the other consequence with the other boy, and he, you never know when he's coming back, and that would make a great for a sequel. I don't think we're getting a sequel, but I would love for a sequel.
That's what my husband said. He said they were just trying to get that sequel.
You know what? You didn't get that impression of it, though. You didn't get that impression like, oh, there's a part 2 coming. You got the impression of.
I didn't, but he did, I guess.
Yeah, I guess the impression I got was he has a lot of therapy ahead of him, but I didn't get that sense because to me too, I don't think that guy would have stayed free for very long enough for him to come back. I think they would have caught his ass quick.
I think like I don't think he would have actually let him go. Like I don't think I think it was cool for the story and everything, but I don't think that serial killer whose like whole thing is killing kids like would have just been like, dead men tell no tales pirate thing going on, and maybe go tell the tale.
You don't think the sadistic part would be though, because that is a worse fate, because never knowing what's going to happen or when it's coming.
It is a worse fate from our perspective, possibly, but like from his perspective, he's a fucking child killer. Like that's the whole thing. He's into killing kids, and like if you sadistic for him is something different than sadistic for us. You know what I mean? Like sadistic for him is like keeping these kids like locked up in the room with other dead kids or whatever. Like
that's messed up. He's juicing them up.
You know what? You're right too, because it's also a compulsion. Because, like you guys mentioned earlier, I think Mary mentioned it when he is giving out the popsicles to the kids, and he's smiling, but you can see there's an urge.
And then it's gone. He's like,
yeah. Like, and it's like he's trying to fight within himself. So you might have, I never thought of it, Ben, but you might actually have a point, because like you can't help it. It's like I've read books where we've all read books where that they say it's a compulsion. It's just hardwired into them. So I get where you're coming from, and that's actually a good point. And I've never thought about it like that, but I'm happy they did it the way they did it for a movie, but I guess in real life, probably not. Go ahead.
Oh, oops, sorry. Do you guys consider this movie horror, crime, mystery, motion picture? I would say thriller, personally.
I say mystery. I say thriller, mystery.
Horror, mystery, comedy.
Sort of like a giallo film, mystery. You don't know who, except they
coming of age.
They probably know they know who did it, pretty early, or it's suspected they. Now, that would have been an interesting twist if they would have suspected Mackie like they did, and then they turn around and they find out that it was maybe like his partner or something like that. That would have been an interesting twist to it. But no, but I considered it a mystery film.
I would say horror mystery myself, but because it is horrifying. And then the part where the kids actually are going into the basement and they're filming it, and that adds another aspect to the 80s vibe, because they're doing an old school filming and they're seeing it on a videotape. That lent kind of a neat, artistic aspect to the film. And when they actually get into the broom, and I also like how first we just see the serial killer recreating what assumes to be his childhood bedroom. I thought that was just fucking creepy. And then they open up, and then whoa, we get some gore, which I liked. And it's not overdone, but it does give you a good slap, considering how this movie has been pretty off the gloves for the most part. And then they just go boom. I like that.
Yep,
Did you
juice.
guys kind of see it coming, or were you thinking maybe the cop was innocent before we got the reveal? Did you guys think pretty much, oh no, this guy's a
Gotta
killer?
be that guy.
Oh, I thought he was killer the second you see him on screen.
I
Just have
feel-
that.
I feel like I thought he was the killer. I mean, it's hard to remember back to my first viewing of it. You know, that was
Mhm.
like 1,000 years ago or whenever it came out. But, like,
2018.
yeah, that's crazy that it's like 2026 now. You know,
Oh Jesus, Ben, why'd you have to say that?
it's like 8 years ago.
Fuck.
So like I do remember. I feel like I felt like he was the killer, but didn't know how it was all going to play out. You know.
Mm-hmm. I was pretty spot on, but I kind of was like, would be interesting if it wasn't the killer. And my favorite scene, probably, I want to ask everyone what was their favorite scene in the movie. And for me, it definitely would have to be when he comes over to the house, when Mackie comes over to his house, and he's like, I'd still like to smooth it over with your parents. And the kid I like it because it's believable, but he makes mistakes, but he still is a pretty smart kid. And he's like, come in and call, because he doesn't buy that it's his nephew that, left the bloody shirt. And he's like, but stay out there. The cord's long enough. And then he's freaking out and he grabs the knife. And I loved that scene, and I loved how tension filled it was. And I thought, good on you, kid, for grabbing that knife. And usually I'm not like that, but I was like, yeah, I love that part. I thought that was really realistic, but believable. What was y'all's favorite part of the film?
Probably when the kids they were peeping on the girl and she like turned around and the one kid's like, oh,
Very cute.
he got busted. He's like, and then the next time he sees her, he's like, I didn't see you naked. She goes, that's a shame. It's
I
like
got a great
exquisite
body.
or something.
I got a great body is what she tells me.
Yeah, you got a great body.
That's a
He was
good scene.
Totally busted.
And also, it adds a little bit of comic relief, which is something you need in this type of film, but it doesn't go over heavy.
Maybe that's where you get the Fright Night part from, because he's looking out the window again and he sees the cop looking at him with his binoculars, and he's like, oh shit, oh shit.
Mhm.
Just like in Fright Night.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably my favorite scene, where he's like sees him like clocking him with the binoculars, and then he like ducks down and looks back, and just the walkie-talkie's there. It's like at that point, like they're sort of playing a game of cat and mouse, but like there is no like, I guess you don't really know who the cat or the mouse is yet. And at that point, like, oh, okay, well, now we know that he's onto him, and now
he knows that we know that he knows.
And now there's more danger, like it's not just like, oh shit, these kids had like some weird shit. They're actually like, we know that he's like onto them now.
Mhm.
And the kids are in more danger.
Yeah, and it ups the ante. What about you, Patrick?
I like that scene too, because it's very tense. It's very tense filled. You always see, when you see scenes like that where you get caught red-handed, and it's like, what do you do with that? Because you're not expecting it. You're expecting, like, there's no reason why he should be looking over at me. I haven't done anything to do that, to warrant that. But then all of a sudden you're looking over there and he's looking back at you, and all of a sudden you could just feel like his blood turn into ice water. It's like, oh shit, it's like,
Either he's a serial killer or a big time pervert.
yeah.
And I'm not
Or
sure which
not.
one I'm rooting for.
Or I mean, he could have just went straight there and walked across there and says, is there any reason why you're looking at me through the binoculars? I mean, he could have put him on his heels with that. And I'm glad they didn't do that, but they could have. But I thought that scene was very intense.
Mm-hmm. There's a few scenes that are very intense in this film, and it really works. It has a good mixture. I think that's another reason why this film works, is it kind of combines a lot of elements, and which is the hodgepodge, which is kind of an earmark of an 80s movie. A lot of our classic 80s movies had a lot of different elements in the movies as well, and I think that works really good. Hobbs says, do you feel like the runtime was too long? Some people complain about the runtime.
No.
Yeah, I thought it went by fast. It went.
Yeah,
it was,
I did
was,
too.
The pacing was really good.
Yeah, I would agree with. I know I didn't have a problem.
If it was, we
But then
weren't
when you're
paying
invested
attention.
in
Yeah, right. We weren't paying attention to the timeline. We're like, go kids, run.
I know I didn't have any problems with this movie. Did you? That's a good question though. Did any of you guys, or was there anything you would have changed had it been your movie? Was there any aspects that you were like, this is a little, besides I know Ben brought up that the killer probably wouldn't have done it if it had been in real life, would have let him wouldn't have let him live.
I
sort of,
personally, for me, go ahead, Ben.
no, you go ahead.
Personally, what I would have liked to seen in this, I mean, it's sort of like it would have been like I would have liked to seen a reversal. I would have liked to seen it's sort of like a Deliverance type of ending where where the 4 kids kill Mackie, and in doing so, that changes them, fractures their friendship as well, because they all know that they've all been part of it, and then they all have to walk away from it knowing that they had done something, even though it was for the betterment of everybody. But still, killing somebody for any sort of reason, that's just gonna fuck with you. I don't care who you are. And I would have been interesting to see, if that would have happened, if they would have managed to kill him, because like the cops didn't believe him the first time, made him apologize. And I think if they would have said, listen, now the pressure is on the kids to do something about it because the authorities don't believe them, what will they do and how will they do it? And to me, it's like you could have used it. You could actually use that last scene of Mackie playing Manhunt. I think you could have switched that around with the 4 of them, putting him on the manhunt and making him run. It would have been interesting, because you got 14-year-old kids putting that kind of pressure on an adult and an authority adult as well. I think it worked. It works, but
It does. That would have been an interesting premise to do, but but I can't say I'm not unhappy with what they did in the actual movie. But that's an interesting premise.
Aw, get it out, girl.
Sorry, I'm sick.
Oh, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I was sick. I had right after I got back from Epcot. I was like, Germ Fest. Not just a garden fest and flower fest. It's Germ Fest.
Are you sick? Are you allergic to anything, like a dog or anything like that? Dog fur?
I just got a cold, kicking her ass. She's gonna mute that action so she can get it out.
That's right. Hawk Tui.
Yeah, Hawk Tui.
Well, don't make her laugh. Then
I'm sorry.
do that.
No laughing. No laughing.
No laughing. No laughing.
But yeah, I was
guys, sorry about
suspenseful.
that.
This
Had a
movie was
coughing
very
fit.
suspenseful. I like the whole movie. The only thing, like I said, the ending, but like you said, you wouldn't find the pit if they didn't have that kind of ending. And it didn't. It was a little dark with the bathtub and finding that one kid, but it didn't get dark enough because it's a serial killer movie.
Right.
I think like
You have liked it to have gone dark.
I'm glad it went
Yep.
dark. I think like people that felt like the runtime was maybe too long just didn't like the resolution of the movie. There was like a distinct sort of jump from the neighborhood to the island thing. So like for people who like didn't like the resolution, maybe they just felt like it should have ended, with him getting busted or something. But
I thought he took a big chance going up in that attic, though, and like, so he wouldn't get caught, so he could kidnap these kids to show him his pit of people. I don't know, man. Just so he can hunt down one.
All I know that was,
like you said, he would get both of them, Ben. Like,
well,
yeah.
the other thing is like the kid, who was our main character's name? What was his name?
Danny.
Davey, I think. Yeah.
Danny.
Davey/Danny was his next victim. So like, he's a fucking like obsessive serial killer dude. So like, of course he's focused on him, right? which
Yeah.
is, I guess, is another reason why he wouldn't have necessarily let him go, like
Mhm.
from my perspective. But
Another
I,
thing that
I,
I've
I,
heard.
wa-
Sorry.
I,
Go
was,
ahead.
I was shocked. I was shocked that he took them back there because I was thinking to myself, going like, okay, he's already going to be looked for. But when the cop come and see that there's 13 dead corpses sitting in there, again, it's like, I mean, that would be a number one, manhunt with a bullet. I mean, they would be relentless.
Yeah, he
Um,
still had a cop car too, right?
Mhm.
Wasn't that a cop
yeah,
car he was banging
Yeah,
well,
on? And
I think he burned his cop car. I think
he
yeah,
did.
yeah, he burned his car. He
did he
burned the
have
cop
someone
car.
else's vehicle there?
He
what?
must
Or
have.
oh wait,
I don't.
maybe he had his green Volkswagen parked in there somewhere.
Well, either that or he just all I know is like there was a cop car on fire, so I'm thinking, okay, he must have had a backup car.
So that was the cop car on fire. Okay.
Uh-huh. It was.
Okay.
Another thing that I've heard a lot of people complain about with this movie is with our other character, he had to carry both of these kids while they were unconscious. And the one kid was kind of heavy set. And they're saying there's no way that the parents wouldn't have heard him moving around the bodies, to get to the car. Did you guys I just suspended it, but did it bother you guys? Because that was another thing I heard a lot
I
of
didn't
people.
even think about that, but yeah, that's a lot of
That's a lot of
carrying.
wood. That's a lot of wood to be carrying.
Yeah.
I've,
Yeah,
I've,
he's a big kid.
I fully suspended my disbelief for that. I wasn't too concerned about the mechanics of how he got them out there or anything.
I'm glad you
He
guys
just
aren't
got
so,
him out there. Right.
so picky.
Yeah,
I didn't think about it either till people started talking about it.
yeah. I was like, oh, really? No shit.
But I guess if you imagine it, the one kid was kind of a heavy set kid. So I guess but I mean, you can do, if you're going to commit to something, which this guy's totally committed, he could have probably done it. And I guess if the parents, were heavy sleepers you could do it. It's a little bit, it's right under the thing, but you could get away with it if you were determined enough.
Matthew was not a small man. He was a big
No.
dude.
And why that age bracket of boys? It's just they didn't get into his reasoning. That was his age is that he liked, and boys only, right?
I
Oh,
mean,
wait, he did a family.
Yeah.
he had
That part was.
What?
he had recreated his room from like his age of those kids or whatever. So like you feel like there's something to do with him like obsessing
In
over,
that age.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I wish we would have had a little bit more backstory on Mackie. I guess if I did have a note, that would be my note. Like we would have gotten a little bit more about, but then I guess serial killers always say there's no rhyme or reason or what kind of parenting they got. That's just something that's in them. I've heard some people or some of the serial killers say something like that. But did you guys want a little more backstory with Mackie, or did you like the ambiguity of it?
Maybe in the prequel when they do a prequel for it, that'd be cool.
That would be.
Yeah, part 2.
I thought the scene
They say
where,
there's not, but
I thought the scene where Davey put it together that the kids were that he went into Mackie's house in the beginning and he saw the picture saying you have a big family, and then when they finally put it together later on and he realized that it was not his family, there was victims. I thought that was
crazy.
That was a mind blowing minute. There.
Yeah, that was another good scene. Yeah,
That
he's
was.
showing all the pictures like holy shit.
Yeah.
The whole wall.
I feel too like the movie was like not really about serial killing. It was more about like these kids, this friend group, like trying to solve a mystery. So
Yeah.
I don't know that we actually needed to go back and discover like too much about the serial killing per se. I mean, as a weirdo horror dude, yeah, and like with morbid curiosity, maybe I want to see that. But like in general, to serve this story, I don't think you needed it.
No, but I'm always one that always wants to know what's their story or what made them become what they became. But sometimes the scariest answer is there's nothing. It's just, it is what it is. But I never can accept that in my movies. Velvet is always on me about that. Like, we don't need to know why all the time. Yes, we do.
We want to know.
But-
Inquiring minds.
But did you guys enjoy this overall? Was this
Yes.
one like, God dang it, Jennifer? She's not getting
No.
any
Oh
more
no,
dicks.
you picked a great
This is
movie
a
to
good
come out
one.
of the box with. Yeah, you came out with a great movie to come out of the box with. This is great.
I'm glad. Guys, was there any other points of this film? And I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm a little sick, so I'm not the best tonight.
You're
but
fine.
is there any other points you guys wanted to discuss about this film? Anything that I've missed or we haven't really discussed?
No, it's just they all did a great job.
They did.
Mhm.
These kids, I like the teenagers. I like seeing them in movies
Yeah,
getting gigs. It's an
I really
awkward
like it
age.
too. The thing that really I love the most, really, I love the score. I think the score was really good, and God, I fucking kept on expecting to see the tall man pop out of it.
Boy.
Like yes, you know, instead when he came to get him, I was expecting him to put Mackie to put his hands over his mouth and go, boy. I was swear to God, I was waiting for that to happen.
Would it have made it better, or would you have been, oh no, too much?
Dude,
Oh, I love that.
I would have marked out. I would have went, hell
The
yeah.
tall man. See?
And Pee Wee Herman.
But Pee
That's
Wee's
right.
riding him.
I love that. You should put that up and hang it up. It's gorgeous.
I just got this. It's a medal. I got to put on a medal.
thing of
Like,
oh,
yeah.
it's gorgeous.
Thank you. I
Mhm.
was so pumped. It wasn't bent or nothing.
As far as discussing anything more, like I felt at the sort of like the prologue, you know, where he's riding his bike delivering papers at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And you see, I felt like he was fractured from his two other friends who still were alive. It felt like that to me, like they were still a friend group, and he was sort of like
Passed
I don't
out.
know. Yeah, well, like I don't know what that dynamic was about. Like maybe he was pissed at them for like not believing, and they sort of like shirked off their responsibilities, you know, like of keeping watch, and then or maybe they were him for like for just whatever, people get pissed for no good reason, but because their friend died, or like were they fractured, you know?
Yes.
At the end,
I think they were fractured even before the friend died. You could kind of see a split, or at least I took it as they were kind of splitting off, and the two really kind of were thinking, okay, our friend's getting to be a nutcase. Now that's just my own interpretation, but I think it was getting fractured, and I think after that happened, then it was just gone. There's some friendship, something happens, and nothing can bring it back.
I think the two other boys were jealous of him too, because here is Davy. You know, he's getting together with the girl next door, and at first they don't believe him, but then when they do, then you sort of sense that wow, you know, I wish I was him.
She drives off in the car though, so
yeah, she's leaving.
In the end, she's gone.
Yeah.
Off to college. To be, you don't know where for her too.
I think what you felt with those two boys is, I think they just absolutely felt guilty. You know, it's like, holy shit, he was right and we were wrong, and you know, for not believing him, and you know,
they hung up on him like, yo, this guy's they're having a celebration for this guy down here. They got all the flowers and dirt down here, so I'm out. And that's probably why.
Do you think it was guilt, Ben? Do you think it was guilt?
I think grief is weird for a lot of people, and like if you don't like, you just have feelings. Sometimes you don't know where they are or what they are, or like where to aim them or anything. So like, you know, they have sadness, anger, and loss of their like one of their best friends, right? And they just have to like, the only way that they see to blame someone for it is the kid who like was sort of like initiated the ball rolling there or whatever, you know,
maybe they seeing him reminded them of their friend Woody. So to get over Woody, they didn't want to see him. Maybe.
Well, but they're seeing each other. They remind each other of Woody, probably, you know. I think it was more just like, if he, you know, it's not a logical thing for them or like justified, but like if Davey never like started this whole thing,
all this.
then like he would still be alive, and like we would just be running around playing Manhunt and fucking looking at like the same ass porn magazine all the time or whatever. Like
he's gonna run out of teenage boys in the town now.
The problem with that though is if they would have ran off, not thinking about it and not not acknowledging what was going on, it wouldn't have been Woody that would have been dead. It would have been Davey, because Davey spotted himself on the wall. Like he was going to be a victim.
I felt like that was
only after he told.
It was
suspicion.
He was a victim because of his involvement in like spying on him, and he saw him like peeking at him through the thing, and they were having that cat and mouse thing. Like, I think if he wasn't on his radar in that sense, he probably wouldn't have struck so close to home. You know what I mean?
That's how I took it kind of too, is that he kind of did it to himself when, his parents were like, made him go and say he was sorry and all that and put it on his radar. I kind of do too. But then you never know. Maybe, the urge compulse, maybe he was going to be on regardless, but you never know. That's what's so scary about serial killers, unpredictability. But, I think if you guys haven't seen Summer of '84, it's a really good time, especially if you grew up in the 80s. I think people who grew up are going to have an even more stronger connection with it. But if you want to if you're younger and you want to try to get a little bit of the vibes, it's a good place to start. This is an 80s movie done right, or an 80s homage movie done right.
Yeah, I agree.
I would go one step further and say, if you're into like a double features, I would actually pair this up with Clovitch.
Yeah,
I think that would make a great 1-2 punch for a Saturday night.
That's a good idea. I think so too. I agree. I love double features, so that's cool, Patrick. That's very cool. But there's nothing else you guys want to discuss. I hope I'm not leaving anything out or messing up anything.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay, well then I think that is all we have to say about Summer of '84. What is going to be for next month, if I'm even still allowed to be a part?
First we should do our ratings.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Sorry.
Oh, I got that, but I didn't write too in depth on what their picks are. You want to do your worst one, or are you going to do your top 5?
I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Thank you so much. So I have an idea. We're going to do our show on the 31st. I'll get to the movie a little bit later in a second. But I was wondering if you guys would like to come together on the 17th of May. And I know, Jen, I know, but I know this is like your third show.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that you've watched all of them so far. You said you've lurked and watched this. What I'd like to do just for fun is to come together, because we've done a lot of movies. I'd like for us to come together and give our top 5 movies of the movies that we've done so far.
Sure.
Is that something that?
And one bad one that we think is like, yeah.
Do you guys want to, since I wasn't a part of that, because I wouldn't be offended if you guys just want to do that on y'all's own, because like I wasn't. Okay.
No. Have you seen?
You've seen some IFC stuff. And
I've watched your stuff.
And,
I've watched your stuff, and I've seen most of the movies you guys have watched.
Which
so
ones are like,
Yeah, that's
I know Ben's
is
top worst is Midnight Man.
Okay.
Well, yes, but Ben makes me feel good about the Midnight Man, because I'm paranoid about the one movie that I think everybody hates. I'm going like, oh, you guys hate that movie so much, but I'm so glad you guys. I know, but I'm paranoid about that. It's like, I love that movie.
It's cool.
I think it's cool too. Ben, would you be up for something like that, brother?
Maybe I would be up for something like that, but May is going to be a tricky one for me. I'm trying to plan a trip to Hawaii to visit my brother.
Okay.
So I may or may not be in town. I'm also not sure that that's going to work out. So I'm sort of like I'm trying for it. I can't commit to it at this particular stage for May 17th. But
so basically, we'll wait for you to come back then.
Yeah, maybe if you want to do it like the following month or something.
Yeah, we'll do that. We can't do a best five without Ben.
That's right.
We just can't do it. We just can't do it. Yeah. So we'll do that in June then.
Okay.
And we'll do our top five and the one we hate the most. That's it. That's so easy for us. Five's gonna be tough. I to go through the top. Well, actually, no. The first one's gonna be easy as hell. But the one I didn't like the most, that's also easy as hell too.
Well,
That
I have
was
to
easy.
put mine. I just have them 5. I don't have them laid out like I like this one the most, and this one I just have them 1 through 5. I like these
Yeah.
5.
That's what
That
we'll do.
works.
And
That
Jen,
works.
that's all you do. And we'll do what everybody else does when they do their top five. We'll just go round table, round
Hard to
robin,
pick
and
one
then
above the other.
oh, I know. We have done some corporate of films here. This ISC show, I mean, when we really break it down, the movies that we watched, damn, we've watched some really damn good movies.
It's a great
So,
ones.
but as far as next month goes, yours truly is stepping out of the ISC ring for a month. That's right. I decided to talk Shutter for a month, next month, and I thought we do Suitable Flesh.
I haven't seen that one. Okay, cool.
I've had that on my list for like a year or more, and I haven't seen it either. So,
Awesome. I
Heather
have not seen it
Green
either.
on it?
I'm super hyped up for this because one of my very favorite directors has directed it, and that is Joe Lynch. It's gonna be a Joe Lynch film, and I love Joe Lynch. That guy can't do any wrong with me. And one of my very favorite moments on YouTube was to get a chance to talk to him. And speaking of that, shout out to our good friend Steven from House of Horrors. Man, he got waylaid this week. I don't know if you guys saw his picture on Facebook or not, but he got seriously fucked up. And so yeah, someone jumped him for no reason. He never
Who
saw
got
it coming.
jumped?
Steven
Jesus.
from House of Horrors. He hasn't done a show for about a year. Yeah, he was in Florida, and he just said that he didn't even know it was a neighbor of his. He didn't even know who it was. Never had any words with him or nothing, and the guy just clocked him.
It's Florida.
So yeah,
That's-
Florida.
Here I am. Hi.
Type
Wonderful.
It's a beautiful state, I hear, though. I hear it's
It's
beautiful.
IFC midnight all the time. 24/7.
You could you can make a lot of movies in IFC movies in Florida.
Just go to Walmart around here. It's oh my god. Just drive down the road. That is like it's like a Mad Max sequel.
For my rating, I'll throw my rating out here. I would give Summer '84. I give that an 8.
That's really good. Good. I'm glad.
I go 9 because I love it. I
Well,
would
that makes me
purchase.
happy too.
I would
Yeah.
purchase this movie for my lots of movies I have, but I would definitely buy this one.
Very cool. I'm glad. I'm glad to
You can
hear.
rewatch it. It's
Very
yeah,
cool.
I go 8.5 on it, probably. I think it's definitely, and I would highly recommend it. To anyone who was interested in sort of some 80s nostalgia vibes and sort of a cat and mouse type of situation.
I would agree. For me personally, I'm going to be with Mary. I'm going to give it a 9. I know that this one back in my 2018 top 10 list, it was very high. It was like my number 4 or 5, and it still held up after this rewatching. And it has a lot of tension. It has humor. It has heart, and it's going to break there's going to be a couple scenes that is going to break your heart, which is the worst kind of horror, I think. So yeah, I'll give it a 9.
Right.
That's why I got high points because it's like no.
I'll throw this. This will be my last comment, but I'll throw this at you guys. I mean, we've talked about the movie, about the sister movie back to back, but what do you think was more effective? Cloverfield Killer or Summer '84? That's a hard question.
Summer of '84, I think, personally.
Yeah.
You know, I would normally have gone with that, but the fact that it was his father, that's what really pushed me over the edge. I was like, man, that's just he just. I mean, discovering your neighbor is one thing, but discovering it's your own parent is another. And it's like, that's some fucked up shit. I mean, that is like mind blowing things. And then and then killing your dad and burying him and then giving that eulogy. I was just like, man, I was like I said, but this is a perfect double feature right here.
What is your date for your Suitable Flesh?
Suitable Flesh will be on May 31st.
31st.
Okay.
Yeah. And it will be hosted by me. And yeah.
Then I think I'm after you, right?
You are after me. Then Ben.
Very cool. Very cool.
Ben.
Before we go, the one thing I would say to that, Patrick, is I get where you're coming from with the Clovich Keller, but depending on what kind of relationship you have with your father, because some of us didn't have the best relationships with our dad, so it might not be a shock. If you have a good relationship, it probably wouldn't be, but
like,
if it was my dad, it wouldn't exactly shock me. So it just not throwing shade, but yeah.
Hey, Dad, how many knots can you make? Oh, Jennifer, I'm so glad you asked me this. Holy shit.
I'm sorry. My dad isn't a serial killer that I know of, but if someone told me, I'd be like, yeah, that checks out. That Christopher Titus bit where, you
can
get
pick
that
your
phone
nose,
call
but you
at
can't
4 in
pick
the
your
morning and
relatives.
someone says, your relative, you're not real surprised. That would be the relative. So kind of thing.
Man, now I'm starting to think of, would I have a relative that could be capable of doing something like this?
You never know.
Probably my half brother. I could see him doing something stupid like that.
Everyone's got one in the family.
I'm that relative, by the way.
Some have more.
I'm the relative. Yeah. They'd be all, oh, Ben's probably a serial killer.
They're all going, Ben.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Ben would be all right because for one thing, I mean, if 4 of his boys were if 4 of his boys suspected he was a serial killer, we would never hear from Ben again. That'd be it.
I might creep out of your attic late at night. You never know.
Dude, I do not want to see fucking Gigan knocking on my door saying, "Hey, have you seen my buddy Ben lately?" That's for sure. Last thing I want to see.
You just see little Godzilla figures all around your house.
You're calling
like the little tinfoil ones in Blade Runner.
Yep.
Ben's here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think this was a really great discussion. I really enjoyed talking about. Thank you for letting me talk about this movie with you guys, because I think everyone brought some really great points to the table.
Well, start thinking about your next one, because it'll be here sooner than you know.
Yeah, it goes quick. It's like,
I think I might have one. I'll think about it. There's a couple in my head running, but maybe.
Yeah, I gotta watch some. I like the blind box. Just pick one.
You never know what you're gonna get.
The trailer, you fooled me.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes it's like, oh, you caught me. Like Come True, I thought it was a little bit different, but
Speaking of mystery boxes, did you get your Spider-Mans yet?
No, I did get a small mystery box. It came with a few movies. Like, I don't know this movie, The Invisible.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, okay.
And Identity.
That's
I
good.
didn't have this one.
That's a good one.
It looks like a decent John Cusack. Love him. And never heard of this one. Riddle.
Oh, I've seen that. That's good.
Val Kilmer, right?
I've seen that one. Yeah.
I don't even know who makes it. Exhilarator. So it's good.
That's a good movie.
I got another copy of this thing. It's like,
oh my gosh.
We shall be donated. Yes, we shall. when Ben goes, uh-uh, no.
I'm never watching that movie again. That movie's the most depressing.
You
movie
said
I've
to
ever-
not, and I have not. So my son also says about Irreversible. He says, "Don't, Mom."
No, don't. I'm
Yeah.
I
telling
said,
no,
"Okay."
no.
Yeah.
You
I watched
said no.
Irreversible for the
Yeah,
first
you?
like a few years
Yeah.
ago. I'd been putting it off for decades, and it
Yeah.
was not. I think when you like have a movie like that in your mind, like Serbian,
film.
Oh, Serbian
No.
film.
Yeah, that
It-
got turned on and got turned off real quick. It's like,
that one's probably like that for me. Like it's like infamous, and so my mind is like doing like I think it's probably not going to be as bad as my mind makes it seem. You know, as no matter how heinous it is. And I feel like Irreversible is like that too. Like it was a little different than I thought it was going to be. I feel like, yeah, they're obviously the director is like the goal is to make you uncomfortable with some scenes. So, you know, get
Yeah.
ready for that. But like, I don't know. There's a, you know, I mean, there's merit to that movie beyond just it being having
Exploitative.
exploitative and having like a super gratuitous extended scene.
No, there's a point to it. There's a point. That, you know, vengeance has a lot to do with vengeance, like a lot of these movies do. It was an uncomfortable watch, though. It was an uncomfortable watch. I thought it was brilliant how it was and it's been done before. He wasn't the first one to do it, but I loved the backwards. I loved the storytelling through backwards.
I got this one too,
Nice.
but I already own it. So,
It's a nice copy, though.
is it?
Well, looks like it to me.
It's like a Rogue. It's like Rogue Pictures. Like I don't think mine looks like that. Mine doesn't look like Helter Skelter. The 6 Degrees of Helter Skelter. Oh yeah.
Ah,
Speaking of serial killers,
Oh,
the Ted
I was actually
Bundy
considering.
story.
I was considering bringing that to the table for mine, but I'm going to wait on that. Charlie says it's a IFC midnight film.
Oh, okay.
Ninth Gate.
Thought about it.
I think I already have this one too.
Oh, Ninth Gate. That's a brilliant
Yeah.
movie.
Love Johnny Depp though.
Marty loves that movie.
Johnny Depp stays.
Johnny Depp stays. That's actually getting rather hard to find. That edition, that artisan, that's getting sort of hard to find these days.
Are they?
Yeah.
Do you know this one? I don't. The Last Letter.
Looks
No,
kind of
I don't
interesting,
know.
though.
Lantern Lane makes it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, those got William Forsythe's in it. Wow.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Charlie's
You signed
Angels.
me up.
William Forsythe,
That's it.
can't go wrong with that.
Can't.
They were just terrible. They weren't that great. It wasn't that great of a mystery box.
Hmm.
Especially when you have like 5 of the movies that's in the sumbitch. Shit.
Well, I missed the library last Tuesday, but I'm going back this Tuesday. I picked up a bunch of British television, and I gotta tell you, I'm fucking hooked. I'm watching
Well,
this
they're
show
funny.
called. Oh no, it's serious. It's like
Oh,
Columbo.
it's serious
It's
ones.
like yeah, it's really good. Oh my gosh, the mysteries are you're sitting there, and it's like hour and a half, and you're sitting there like. And there's not just one murder either. There's always 2 or 3 scattered about the episode, but you still got to put it all together. And I got to tell you,
Murder.
yeah, the one I watched yesterday, I didn't see that coming until almost to the very end, and I was like, damn, because it was so good. And I was like, who's the killer? And I couldn't get it like till the last 10 minutes when they said, oh, by the way, this is our killer. You can quit trying to figure it out now. So,
Oh, and today's LV426 day.
Alien.
Yep. The birds.
I
know.
only know that because of Marty. Trust me, I'm not trying to be, oh, look at me. I only know that because of who I'm dating. I
The
wouldn't
birds
have,
are like,
that would mean nothing to me if not.
I just got done watching it.
Mm.
You know, the second one, of course. Had to watch it. It's the day. Alien Day. I didn't watch Romulus.
Eh,
I like Romulus.
I did. I did like it.
I gotta get all my
Yeah,
alien
fun
movies
things.
together.
Get them together. Watch
I
them
have
all
the
back
first.
to back.
I have the first four. I have Romulus. I have Prometheus. And I have Covenant. So I think I have everybody.
I swore I fell asleep in both of those. Prometheus and Covenant in the theater. I remember it.
Um, yeah, I'm hoping to find the rest of the Predator movies too.
I got the one in 4K. The fellow with
4K?
the big nose.
That's fancy.
He just won an Oscar. What was his name?
You're talking about Adrian Brody?
That's it. The fellow with yep.
The break.
one.
The
Okay.
big
He
nose.
knew. He knew who I was talking about. The
Awesome.
fellow with the big nose.
Well, there's not that many
Oh, yeah.
Oscar winners in the Predator franchise, so
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, Marlon Brando. Predator. He's not out there.
I could have been a contender. I could have been a
Been a
contender.
predator. Instead of a
Stella.
contender.
That'd be an
Stella.
interesting one. You know, the fact that he's dead, but still.
AI, you know, bring it back.
Jesus. I know they're doing that now.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
seen
they
had
brought
a
back. They're
new
bringing back
Val
Val
Kilmer
Kilmer.
movie, right?
God,
With
I guess
him.
his relatives must be broke.
Yeah. Well, cancer's not cheap.
Yeah.
No,
Know it.
but still, I just not gonna see that. That's just way too creepy
No,
for me.
nah, that's too hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know they're doing concerts. They've tried to do concerts with some of the artists that have passed, and people go to see it. It's not the same thing exactly, but to each their own.
I guess
Gives them a
That's
taste of it, I guess.
creepy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't get to see Tom Petty, but I wouldn't go see an AI Tom Petty. Like that's my biggest miss of a concert was not getting to see Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. But I wouldn't go see him if he was
I would recommend AI for Frankie Valli so he can retire for God's sakes.
Oh my God, that poor man. He's already a robot.
Yeah, I just want to go out there and check his pulse to see if is he still alive
no-
yet?
He just does that.
People drop comments all the time when they're watching the clips on YouTube and they're going like,
Yeah, that one
does he
creeped
ever
me out.
blink his,
It's like,
does
oh
he
my
ever blink
God,
his eyes?
It's
Have him
kinda
blink his
weird,
eye.
that poor man.
like modern concerts in general, they're oftentimes so many backing tracks. Sometimes the people are just lip syncing. If they're not, there's like auto tune applied, and it's just like you're already like sort of roboticizing this whole experience, like removing the humanity. Like, what the fuck am I even gonna go
Dude,
for?
it's horrible. It's horrible. It's like people say how he must owe the mob money. I mean, the comments are that's why you watch the clips. You watch the clips for the comments, not because he's standing up there. You know, it's the Mummy 4. It just got released. You know, it's like no, we don't do that. I want to see the comments.
And I drew William Holden with
That's
the
really awesome.
because it was 421 for the fog day.
Very cool.
They all have their days, huh?
Oh, Hal Holbrook. Is that Hal Holbrook?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Nice.
With the gold cross. I
Nice.
think he's telling him like, come and get me. I come get his ass.
Do you guys have anything coming up you guys want to talk about? I got to sort of start wrapping this up here. Did you guys want to like talk about your channels or like promote anything?
Oh, I made the horror YouTuber, so I got to do a video at the end.
Woohoo!
You know, so I
Congratulations.
got to do one at the end to say
That's
who.
right.
And so far, it's Doc. Doc's
Doc
in the lead.
Kaiju.
Yeah, he's in
Yes.
the lead.
That's right. It's hard to argue when you try to pass your ballot and there's like a kaiju standing there going like, vote for Doc. Let's see. As far as my channel goes, real quick, I just got I'm doing a dollar theater every Monday. I'm doing a international trip around the world, doing some more for all around the world.
Very
So
cool.
tomorrow will be Italy. Then the week after that will be Australia. The week after that will be South Korea.
Right?
Nice. Some good places. Very cool.
Good work.
For me, I've got a Tales from the Crypt review Till Death up right now. Apologies, but my voice in that is super croaky. I should have waited, but I pushed through it. And that's all that's on right now. But hopefully I'll be playing catch up. There's a few movies I'd like to catch up on, but hopefully, as right now, that's all that's on my channel.
Nice. And me, I'm still radio silent.
Well,
like-
you're busy. You're a busy guy.
I do have like zero time these days. But
any update on the guy gang?
he's just sitting over there at my old shop area. I think I'm gonna bite the bullet and just assemble him, and then deal with like prepping him for paint and stuff afterwards. Just keep the ball rolling.
Yeah. We can't wait to see that.
Strap
Are
him
you
to your
doing-
back.
Are you doing
ride
regular
on the
guy
bike.
gang? Are you doing regular guy gang, or are you doing guy gang red or X?
It's still a guy again. It's the I'm wearing pants this time, so I don't have to.
You can stand up. It's official. There's pants on.
This is the best part. This is the best part about the show, Jen, right here.
It's this.
Hell
space.
yeah!
Yeah, show up.
Oh, he's neat.
Nice.
Look at that.
I like his points on the end of his wings.
That's our boy right there.
Mm,
Very looks nice.
cool detail.
Mm-hmm.
We have made Guy Yan a big thing here on the tube.
He's a funky chicken.
Funky chicken.
So much fun. So much fun.
All right. Well, I guess we will see everyone. Thanks to the chat, everyone, Hobbs, for stopping by and whatnot. And I guess we will see you guys all next month.
The 31st, right?
31st. Yeah.
31st, 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Very
All
cool.
right.
Yes.
And
Enjoy your vacation, Ben.
I will.
Yeah.